Welcome to Inspiration in Action Television, where you'll meet people who will inspire you to bring your dreams to life. Our guest today is Janet Podleski, successful cookbook author and holistic nutritionist. We're going to talk about the Looney Spoons cookbook series, which Janet and her sister Greta have done. I mean, just an unbelievable story, right?
Well, it's still hard to believe for my sister and I. We pinch ourselves all the time. We can't believe that it's been 18 years.
What?
We wrote our first book, Looney Spoons, in 1995, out of our little tiny basement office. My sister moved into my house a week after my wedding, so just in time for the honeymoon, I had this new roommate. But my husband and I didn't complain one bit because she was a fantastic cook, and she was cooking for us day in and day out, and didn't tell us that everything was healthy until about 6 months into it, when she said, "Do you guys realize that everything is healthy?" And my husband said, "My goodness, like I'm losing all kinds of weight and my belt is loose, and we're eating pizza and burgers and pork chops and lasagna." And he said, "If this is healthy, you should write a cookbook." And that's what sparked the whole idea, and we kind of went from there.
So the combination of Greta's cooking and your nutrition background.
Yeah, I've always been interested in nutrition. I was a high-end athlete, so I always cared about being active. I played soccer at the national level. I played basketball, tennis instructor. So I cared about my health a lot. Plus, Greta and I come from a family of 6 girls, and I don't know, it was 6 girls in one bathroom. It gave us kind of warped senses of humor. So we wanted to use our corny senses of humor. And we figured everyone loves to eat and everyone loves to laugh. So why don't we combine that into a book that will make healthy eating easier to digest, so
It
to
does.
speak.
No, seriously, it does. Because you know what? I look at the ingredients, I think this is all stuff I would normally want to have.
Yeah.
And then when you put it together the way you guys ask us to put it together, it tastes so fantastic. You would never guess it's sort of healthy or whatever.
No, because it's all the comfort foods that people want to keep on eating. There's no dieting and deprivation and starvation and eating tofu and bean sprouts and that kind of thing. We wanted to give people all the food that they love, but also we thought if we could make it so delicious and so much fun, people would almost get healthy by accident.
Well, and if you look at how the law of attraction works, what you focus on and spend your attention thinking about is what grows and expands in your life. And your story really is one where you guys really practice the law of attraction to create your success in many ways, taking that dream and feeding it quietly every single day.
The very first thing we did the day after my husband Pete, or ex-husband now, a happy story, don't worry, after he said that, the next day we decided to write the book, and we started, and the first thing we did was we took the national bestseller list from the Globe and Mail newspaper, and we cut it out and we whited out the name at the top, and we typed in Looney Spoons by Janet and Greta Podleski.
You already had a name for your book?
We tacked it onto our wall. We came up with the name Looney Spoons because we didn't tell anybody what we were doing. We decided to keep it to ourselves. It was our secret basement project because we wanted to avoid all the naysayers and people who would discourage us. I mean, I'm not a very good cook. I burn salad. It takes me an hour to make minute rice. So imagine telling people I quit my job to, write a cookbook in the basement with my sister. Think that we were loony, that we belonged in the loony bin. So that's how we actually came up with the name. But we also had a big whiteboard in our office, and we wrote Looney Spoons, 1 million copies sold. And we found out the next day that 10,000 in Canada is a bestseller, but we didn't wipe any zeros off. We just kept going, and we just believed it. We just somehow believed it, no matter how hard it got. We had to sell all of our possessions on the front lawn at a yard sale because we were so desperate. We were $80,000 in debt at one point.
Takes a lot of courage to keep going when you're $80,000 in debt.
And I remember dragging everything out of our house that wasn't nailed down onto the front lawn and selling it. I sold my wedding dress. I drove my car onto the front lawn and tied balloons to it and sold it for $5,000 because we needed the money. But it was almost like that Kevin Costner Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. We thought if we get this book onto store shelves, people are going to love it, and it's going to help to change North Americans' eating habits for the better. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, it's hard though, Janet, to stay focused on your dream, right? When you've got this idea in mind, and it seems, as you say, people will think I'm loony if I tell them I'm going to write a cookbook when I don't even cook. So we have to be very careful. It takes a lot of courage to stay focused, right?
Yeah.
What do you think was it that just kept you girls going?
It was just an inner knowing. And my sister and I had each other as well.
Right.
We could encourage each other. And I don't know how to explain it, but I think we were divinely guided There were many times where people became advocates of ours, or they were cheering us on. We got bank loans from people that they shouldn't have given us the bank loans. We had lawyers that didn't charge us for 2 years. We had just so many people that came out of the woodwork. And you know, the interesting thing is when our book, Looney Spoons, actually did make the national bestseller list for real for the very first time, the Globe and Mail newspaper made a really strange error. And it appeared at number 2, just out of nowhere, but it didn't say Looney Spoons by Janet and Greta Podleski. It said Looney Spoons by John Podleski. And that's the name of our father, who had passed away 6 years previous.
Oh, I just got the shivers.
Of lung cancer.
Oh my goodness.
And so my sister Greta saw that, and she ran to the phone booth, because this was 1996 and people didn't have cell phones, and she called the Globe and Mail and got the girl on the phone who handles that section. Well, she didn't know how it got there, and she passed the phone around to people and nobody could explain it. So Greta corrected it, and the next Saturday it said John Podleski. And the next Saturday it said John Podleski. It was like that for 3 weeks straight. So it was like our dad was watching over us and just helping to steer us in the right direction.
Wow. And so where is it today? You've had how many books since that first one?
Well, remarkably, I thought we'd never write another one. I thought we drained our brains on the first one, but we've written 4. And they've all gone to number 1 on the national bestseller list. We've sold over 2 million copies, which is some kind of record in Canada, they say, in publishing. And we did this all self-publishing too, with the help of David Chilton, the author of The Wealthy Barber, who is now one of the dragons on the Dragon's Den.
Yes.
And actually it helped him to get that gig on the Dragon's Den because of his partnership with us. We were like his first ever official pitch way back when. So it's really satisfying. And then we have a television show on the Food Network, and we're working on all kinds of other interesting TV projects. So I would have never thought.
And you can look back now and connect the dots, but while you're going along the journey, you can't really see, right?
No, and sometimes it's our habit that we want to fast forward and see into the future, and that's a lesson that I've had to learn. I'm very much like that because I am very visual and I have an imagination, but I've learned, especially lately, is that you just have to put one foot in front of the other. You can't know the outcome all the time. And I would have never guessed that we'd have a TV show and food products at Costco and 4 cookbooks. We just wanted to get that one and get it going and help people to eat more healthfully. That was our goal, was to help people. And through that, all the other things happened.
Well, and it seems to me that once you sort of build the foundation for something like this, and your intention is so good, wanting to help North Americans eat well, I mean, then it spawns all kinds of other things, and you don't need to be in charge of what they are, right? You just need to kind of go with the flow.
And things just pop up. But I have to tell you that the most impactful thing is the feedback that we get. Greta and I get thousands and thousands of emails from people saying how our books have really dramatically changed their lives, their families' lives. You know, people that had to change their eating habits because of a major health problem, and the whole family had to get in on it. Well, they love it because it's comfort foods and because it's delicious and easy. And then the book is like a good vibration. It makes them laugh at a time when they really need it. So the weight loss stories, it just makes my sister and I cry. We bawl our eyes out. We answer every single email ourselves.
Oh,
and
I love it.
It's the best part of our jobs.
Yes, exactly. Is hearing back. I mean, you're putting all this stuff out there, but having it come back to you again, and it comes back a millionfold, don't you find?
Yeah, and I just love knowing that our work is just helping so many people. I know it sounds so corny to say it, but I'd rather read the emails than read, you know, an order from Chapters for 5,000 copies. Maybe not, but you know what I mean.
I like the corny stories though too. They fill our hearts, and they inspire us too. I mean, it inspires other people to hear your story. So I can't thank you enough for sharing it with us today.
I'm so happy that you asked me here.
Continued success to you, Janet.
Thank you.